The message came while I was feeding my baby. One hand held the bottle. The other reached for my phone when it vibrated on the couch. I expected nothing important. Maybe a meeting delay. Maybe another excuse. Instead, I write one sentence. Our marriage is over. Do not call me. I have moved on. That was it. No explanation. No warning. No respect. Just one text message. My body froze, but my mind screamed. The room fell silent, even though my baby was still drinking calmly, unaware that her world had just cracked. I read the message again. Then again. How could someone end a marriage like this? How could a man erase years with a sentence? And why did he choose this moment? I am Elena Carter, 34 years old. A mother. A woman who built her life around loyalty and sacrifice. I married my husband when he was nothing more than a dreamer with ambition. I stood beside him when banks rejected him. I stood beside him when investors laughed. I stood beside him when his first company almost collapsed. When success came, it came because I never left. Or so I believed. My husband is Victor Carter, 41 years old. A powerful businessman. CEO of Carter Holdings. To the world, he is confident, charming, unstoppable. A man who controls rooms and commands respect. At home, he slowly became distant, busy, unavailable. I told myself it was the price of success. I was wrong. Then there is my baby Sophia. Only 9 months old. Too young to understand betrayal. Too young to know that her father had just abandoned her with a text. Victor did not only leave me. He left his child. And the reason soon became clear. 2 days later, the truth surfaced. A business article appeared online. Carter Holdings CEO seen publicly with new executive assistant. The picture stabbed my chest. Victor. Smiling. Relaxed. And beside him, a young woman. Barely 24. Perfect hair. Perfect smile. His assistant. The woman I once thanked for helping him manage his schedule. My hands trembled as I scrolled. They were holding hands. So this was not sudden. This was planned. The text message was not an emotional decision. It was a calculated escape. He replaced his wife with his assistant. And replaced his family with ego. I did not cry. That surprised even me. Something else took control, focus. 3 days later, his lawyer contacted me. They offered silence money. A private settlement. No court. No exposure. They underestimated me. I hired my own lawyer. A woman. Sharp. Unforgiving. She looked at me and said, "You have rights. And so does your child." We filed the case. For my rights. For Sophia's future. For every year I stood behind him while he climbed .comma. Victor did not expect that. He thought I would disappear quietly. The media picked it up. A rich CEO abandoning his wife and baby for a younger assistant. Sponsors began asking questions. Investors became nervous. And then another name entered the story. Lucas Reinhardt. A rival businessman. Quiet. Strategic. He saw Victor's weakness and attacked. Contracts were pulled. Deals collapsed. Stock value dropped. Victor's empire began to shake. And suddenly, the man who ended our marriage with one text message was losing everything. I was still in court when his name appeared on my phone again. This time, the message was different. "Please talk to me. I made the biggest mistake of my life." I looked at Sophia sleeping in my arms. And I smiled. Because the story was no longer about heartbreak. It was about power. Victor did not come to court the first day. That told me everything. He sent his lawyer instead. A man in an expensive suit with a rehearsed smile and cold eyes. as if this was just another business negotiation. I sat there holding Sophia, calm on the outside, burning on the inside. I watched the judge read the case summary. Abandonment, infidelity, financial manipulation, child support, marital assets. Each word stripped a layer off the perfect image Victor had built for years. When the judge asked why the defendant was absent, his lawyer replied smoothly, "Urgent business matters." I almost laughed. Business had always come first. Even now, the judge did not look impressed. Outside the courtroom, cameras waited. I did not plan to speak. But one question stopped me. Did your husband really end the marriage with a text message? I paused. Yes, I said. One sentence. That clip went everywhere. And with it, the public image of Victor Carter began to rot. At home that night, my phone would not stop buzzing. Unknown numbers. Emails. Messages. Some were hateful. Some were supportive. But one message stood out. A woman wrote, "I worked at Carter Holdings. I quit last year because of the assistant. She was not just an employee. Everyone knew." I read that message 3 times. So it was an open secret. He humiliated me privately and publicly. I forwarded it to my lawyer. She replied immediately, "This changes things." Victor finally showed up at court the following week. He looked different. Still expensive. Still polished. But something was missing. Control. He did not look at me at first. When he finally did, his eyes avoided Sophia. That hurt more than his betrayal. The judge questioned him directly. "Why did you leave your wife and child without notice?" Victor cleared his throat. "It was complicated," he said. Complicated. The word men use when they do not want to admit cruelty. The judge leaned forward. "Was the affair with your assistant already ongoing?" Silence. His lawyer objected. The judge overruled. Victor answered quietly, "Yes." That single word echoed in the room. I felt something inside me unlock. Truth was louder than any scream. While the court case progressed, something else was happening quietly. Carter Holdings began losing contracts. A major supplier pulled out. Then another. News articles started appearing. Carter Holdings faces internal turmoil amid CEO scandal. And then came the name that Victor feared. Lucas Reinhardt. Victor had once crushed Lucas in a deal years ago. Humiliated him. Now Lucas returned with patience. He bought shares. He spoke to investors. He offered alternatives. One by one, Victor's allies disappeared. Stock prices dropped. Victor called me that night. I did not answer. He sent messages instead. "I never wanted this to hurt you." I was confused. "You know how stressful my life is." Excuses. I did not reply. Silence became my weapon. The assistant tried to step into the spotlight. She posted pictures. Luxury trips. Designer clothes. Trying to prove she had won. But the internet is not kind to women who replace wives and mothers. She became the villain overnight. Victor tried to protect her. That only made things worse. Employees resigned. Board members questioned leadership. Then the twist came. My lawyer discovered Victor had moved marital assets into offshore accounts before sending the text. Planning. Premeditation. We brought it to court. The judge's expression changed completely. Temporary asset freeze was ordered. Victor lost access to accounts. That day he followed me out of the courtroom. "Elena, please," he said quietly. "Let us talk." I turned. "For years I waited for you to talk," I said. "You chose a text message." His face cracked. For the first time, I saw fear. Weeks passed. The case strengthened. His business weakened. Lucas Reinhardt made his final move. He took over a critical partnership Victor depended on. The media called it a hostile takeover. Victor called it betrayal. I called it balance. One evening, my phone rang again. Victor. This time I answered. His voice sounded broken. I lost everything, he said. They turned against me. Even her. The assistant had left. Just like he had left me. I said nothing. Please, he whispered. I need you. I made a mistake. I looked at Sophia playing on the floor. A future he almost stole from her. This is not the end, I said calmly. I ended the call. And for the first time since that text message, I slept peacefully. Because I knew the final chapter was coming. And he was not ready for it. The day of the final court hearing arrived quietly. No cameras outside this time. No shouting reporters. Public interest had already shifted. Victor Carter was no longer a powerful headline. He was old news. I walked into the courtroom holding Sophia's hand. She had just learned to walk properly, her tiny fingers wrapped tightly around mine. That grip reminded me why I never backed down. Victor was already seated. He looked thinner, older. The confidence that once filled rooms was gone. His suit was still expensive, but it no longer fit the man he had become. When our eyes met, he stood up. Elena, he said softly. I did not respond. I sat down calmly. This courtroom was where everything would finally balance out. The judge spoke clearly and slowly. Marital assets were divided. Child support was granted. Custody was decided. Full custody to me. Victor was granted limited visitation. No arguments. No sympathy. Facts spoke louder than excuses. Then came the final blow. Because of the asset manipulation and premeditated abandonment, Victor was ordered to pay additional financial penalties. His lawyer tried to object. The judge shut him down. You planned this, the judge said firmly. You do not get rewarded for betrayal. Victor closed his eyes. That sound was not defeat. It was collapse. Outside the courtroom, he followed me again. Not with arrogance this time. With desperation. Elena, he said, please. Just 5 minutes. I stopped. Not because I wanted to forgive him, but because I wanted him to hear me. You ended our marriage with one text message, I said calmly. You did not think I deserved a conversation. He nodded, tears forming. I was wrong, he said. I lost everything. Yes, I replied. You did. He reached out then stopped himself. I will do anything, he said. Another chance, please. I looked at him carefully. This was the moment he dreamed of. Redemption. Forgiveness. Rescue. I pulled out my phone. He watched, hopeful. I typed one message. Then I showed him the screen. I have moved on. Do not contact me again. His face drained of color. One sentence. Just like he did to me. Except this time, it was not cruel, it was final. Weeks passed. Victor's business officially collapsed. Lucas Reinhardt acquired what remained. Victor disappeared from the industry. The assistant moved on to someone else with money. History repeated itself. Only this time, I was not the one left behind. I rebuilt my life quietly. I invested wisely. I started my own small venture. I focused on Sophia. Peace replaced chaos. Strength replaced pain. One evening, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. A message appeared. I am sorry for everything. I deleted it without replying. Some chapters do not deserve continuation. I stood on my balcony that night, watching the city lights. I thought about how easily people confuse kindness with weakness. I was never weak. I was patient. And patience, when combined with truth, always wins. Victor begged for another chance. But he forgot one thing. A woman who survives betrayal does not return to the man who caused it. She builds a future where he no longer exists. Never underestimate the quiet strength of someone you hurt. Silence can be stronger than revenge, and dignity is the most powerful victory. If someone ended your life with one message, would you forgive them when they begged to come back? Or would you choose peace instead?